What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Best Bet Show. I'm a little sick. I don't care. The show must go on. We have Austin, as always, a co-host, and our special guest, our favorite special guest. Can we say that? Alex Caruso coming on the show. It's been basically a once-a-week thing now. I see a new background for you. Either you got a new fan at your house or you're in a different location. But both you boys, how you guys feeling today?
Dude, the vibes are up. How can they not be? I say this every Monday. It's literally the best day of the week. I love Mondays, man. I'm excited to be here. We have football. We have NBA. We have a good slate. Not sure if we have hockey. Chucks, you know if we have hockey?
We do.
We do.
Have
we have
always have hockey.
Any day with a double day or a triple day with NHL, NBA, NFL, lots of games on, lots of props, lots of bets to be taken across all our favorite books. There is nothing better than that. I can't wait. We get a Super Bowl rematch tonight on top of that, so really doesn't get much better.
Yeah, and I like the Super Bowl rematch when I don't have any stake in who I care wins. Like Austin is in a much different boat, so a little more stressful for him as he's got to root for his Eagles to win. I just get to watch a hopefully good football game. But Austin, we do our sides and totals first. Do you think your Eagles pull this out? Do you like an over/under, or are you kind of just picking your props today?
Well, the line I saw was at 3. It just moved to 2.5. I'm low key loving the Eagles money line. Obviously, that's biased, but I kind of think with all the shit that happened last year, and say what you want, like the PI, whether it is or not, the slipping on the line where everyone was slipping, like the Eagles didn't get to utilize their pass rush at all. They didn't have a single sack. Jawan Taylor really didn't allow a single sack. He's looked awful this year. So I just say what you want. I think the Birds come prepared. I really do. And so you can call it biased, but that's what I'm backing today.
You got some interesting stuff in the comments. I'm just reading. We got, thank y'all for the picks daily. I appreciate it. Austin, the man.
Love
Fuck
that.
the Birds. And then Austin, have my kids. So there's a lot going on.
Clearly there.
The vibes are here. I know who this is. I think.
Yeah,
Austin.
I know. Robbie Locks did. Definitely.
my brother's definitely. Wow. Are these the 3 most handsome men in sports betting? I appreciate it. I don't know what other 3 are going to compete, but if you can present it, we can find the judges later.
Find a better lineup for me, honestly.
Find a better roster.
Yeah, find a better roster. We got the big 3.
I agree. I think we're all handsome young chaps. Listen, it's the football show. Get the NBA stuff out of here. We'll talk about NBA on our Twitter X pages later. I don't really know what the new norm is, but we'll get into the props. We all are on this one prop. It seems like everybody's on this prop, so I'm just going to get into it. Jalen Hurts over 8.5 rush attempts. I know it's got bumped to to 9 on some DFS apps. The line is getting juiced as we speak. There is that nagging knee injury, but to me, I already played it. Love his attempts. The hit rate is insane this year. The tush push is like 2 or 3 extra attempts a game, it feels like. And the importance of this game with the Niners, the Bills, and the Cowboys coming up on the schedule for the Eagles, they have to win this game. And a little revenge factor never hurt anybody. You know what I mean? They're going to treat this game like a Super Bowl rematch. They got the bye week. There's an extra week to prepare. I think they're going to control the clock with Swift and Hurts in the run game and try to just control the clock as much as possible. I'll start with you, Austin. How do you feel about this prop overall?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. The Eagles don't necessarily have to win this one, I don't think, though. They still have it over the Cowboys by 2 games. They still have it over the Niners by a game. So I think there's a little less pressure. The big one they had last week beating the Cowboys was huge. We didn't forget about it, Dallas, so if anyone's listening. But 8.5 rush attempts, absolutely love it. I think it's probably the most communal play I've seen for a Monday Night Football game, but rightfully so, right? I mean, the tush push is going to be 3 or 4 snaps likely, or 3 or 4 rushes likely. If they get down, Hurts does run when he drops back. So we're hoping his knee's better. He sounded like it in his presser that he's doing better, that the bye came at the right time. It was no secret last week. He clearly was banged up against the Cowboys, but he still did 11 rush attempts, So he's still running when he has to run. 8.5, pretty low line. You can get it at -125 on DraftKings. So if you haven't played it yet, I would recommend going quick because I won't be surprised if that be at -150 in a few hours. So, but yeah, that's kind of how I see it. I love the spot.
Yep, I love it as well. I think it's just perfect. I mean, he's hit it 21 out of his last 27 games. He had 15 in the Super Bowl last time. I mean, every time a game gets close, it seems like he's using his legs. And this is also going to be a weather game. I mean, it's supposed to be cold. It's supposed to be windy. It might be a little bit rainy. I mean, it's a perfect game for him to just take it on the ground and just continue to push his way right into a cash for us.
I agree. And you also have end of game kneels. If Austin's right and this is a close game, if there is kneel potential at the end of this game as well. So if he's at 7 or 8 and they're winning late, and get the ball and could just kneel the clock out, you can maybe sneak away with a victory. But I think you get this done before the kneels come into play, but it's nice to have that extra cushion always. And because going off of Alex's weather game, I did play this as well. I did Mahomes' longest rush over 11.5 on FanDuel. He's hit his longest rush every game he's gotten his rush yards. I do think Mahomes is going to be on the run with this Eagles pass rush. They don't allow a lot of rushing yards to quarterbacks, but they also haven't really played anybody who's been mobile. Not to say that Mahomes is the most mobile quarterback, but he is in that mobile category. And I think this line with the hit rate this season, the only 2 games he missed was the second time against Denver, where he had 3 carries on 20 yards and 0 rushes for 0 yards against the Vikings. So he didn't even rush once that game. Obviously, I think if he rushes and gets his rushing yards number, I think we get the longest rush, as he's done that every single week. And he's had 14 plus longest rush in all those weeks. And I don't want a situation where he gets over his yards and his kneel opportunity brings him under, which is kind of, too worrisome. You shouldn't have to worry about a few yards, but just in case, I think the longest rush is the safest one for me. Are you guys looking at any Mahomes rush props at all today? Austin, we'll start with you.
Yeah, like I said, we didn't sack him one time in the Super Bowl. That the Eagles remember that. They're going to bring heat. It's a new D coordinator, so Sean Desai doesn't really blitz a ton, but I think they clearly are going to try to get after Mahomes. And when you get after the quarterback, obviously that's when holes open up. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're sending heat all night that Mahomes steps up into the pocket or rolls out and catches an edge. You know what I mean? So I really like that. I think, like you said, I would prefer the longest rush rather than the rush attempt, just because this game's likely going to be close. I would not be surprised if it's Mahomes or Hurts taking kneels at the end of the game. I think one of them will be, personally. So, I would lean longest rush as well. I haven't played it yet, but I definitely like the look.
Yeah, I think that, I probably would play it. I mean, I just off, I trust you. I don't know. I don't play a lot of rush attempt props. Jalen Hurts was somebody that particularly stuck out because he's become more of a community play at this point. And he's someone that's a little bit easier too. I think I would rather play longest rush than rushing yards for Mahomes. So I think that's definitely where I would go over attempts or yards. I think the longest rush is definitely the best play if you're going to take any of those 3.
I appreciate it. Going into this game, there is a weather game. Are there any receivers you guys are looking at? This is a comment today. We have to talk about it. I hate that we have to talk about it, but will T Swift be there tonight? Kelsey splits are crazy with them not there. I think they are. She is going to be there today, but I think the parents are meeting. And to me, I don't know if you were ever playing a game where there was some important stuff going on in the stand. Sometimes your mind wanders. This could be a little different for Kelsey. I don't know. Overall, though, with the rain and the weather, I'm not sure if I like Kelsey. This whole Chiefs wide receiver and passing game has been atrocious in the last few weeks. I think Kelsey's numbers are a little too high for me, but with Kelsey,
it might be time to hammer the under. I mean, this is as of like an hour ago. She actually will not be attending today because of tour complications. This was supposed to be the parent meeting, but they just announced that this is not going to be the game, and she's not going to be able to make it. So hammer every
Travis is hurting right now. He's warming up.
We're going to find out if Travis Kelsey is insecure or not by his performance of this game.
Yeah.
Is it tour complications or is she somewhere else?
She's in South America, I believe.
What's going on out there?
But his mind can be wandering. I'm just saying, if it's a weather game, I'll probably lean his receptions more than yards. But his yards are so high. And like last week, what do you have? Three catches last week for less than 20 yards. His yards line is 75.5. And I know tight ends for the Eagles have usually been pretty profitable. And it's scary to take a Kelsey under, but I don't think anything in me wants to take anything of his overs at all. What are your thoughts, Austin?
I mean, I agree. I think if I'm targeting any of the receivers, or if I'm targeting anyone on the Chiefs, it's one of the receivers. As a diehard Eagles fan like I am, I see it. The DBs have been getting cooked left and right. I would look for whoever is going to be lined up on James Bradberry right now. I don't have much faith in him. He's been so horrible that like you could take any receiver against him. I think the last 6 weeks they've all covered his line. So I don't know if that's Rashee Rice or if that's MBS. I'm not really sure. I haven't looked too deep into the Chiefs side for receivers yet, but I definitely think one of those could be a good target. The only tough thing about that is there's so many of them. So you're also kind of gambling on which receiver is going to actually cover the line.
What about a Noah Gray? 12.5 line. I mean, he's sneakily gone over this number in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of 9 games. It's still a tight end versus the Eagles. And, you know, it's just so low of a number. You can get this in one catch.
Yeah, friend of the show as well. Noah Gray. Alex knows him, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he grew up like 2 streets over from me. So I will never ever fade a Noah Gray prop. You know, he's the king. Watched him, you know, throw for 7 touchdowns in my homecoming game a few years ago. But I think that ultimately I don't know. I'll never not back Noah Gray.
Dude, I think I just found this right now. I was looking at it and just 12.5 just seems so low. I mean,
do you see Kadarius Toney at 6.5 yards?
His reception line is at 0.5.
I know. But man,
there are just some weird lines. If you were gun to your head or forced to take a Chiefs prop that wasn't a quarterback, what are you guys looking at?
I think the Justin, going off what Austin said, Justin Watson over 26.5 receiving yards. James Bradberry almost always lines up at right cornerback, and Watson lines up at right wide receiver more than any other player on the Chiefs. So he's going to probably see the most Bradberry coverage. And if he truly is, you know, as cooked as he's made out to be, he's given up the highest fantasy points per route by far of any of any Eagles corner. I think this might be an easy over for Justin Watson.
Likewise, yeah, I love that spot. I think Rashee Rice you could play as well. I think a lot of the teams they've played have like CeeDee Lamb, they've intentionally put Bradberry on him, like they would move him over there until late where Slay said, hey, I want to trail. So a lot of teams have kind of schemed that up. I'm not sure if the Chiefs are going to scheme a specific receiver on Bradberry just because they don't have like a true number one. Maybe that's Rashee Rice at 43.5 yards. But I like Justin Watson a lot too, just because, like you said, where he lines up, I think it's a smart spot.
Yeah. And do you think the Eagles focus on controlling the ground game here? Are you interested in any wide receiver props, or are you just officially just hopping off?
So Dallas Goedert is out this week. So I was trying to find who's going to be like the beneficiary of those targets because he's been seeing a good amount of targets and receptions. I noticed they put Devontae Smith's reception line up one. It's at 5, I believe. I'm pulling it up right now. Yeah, it's at 5.5, which that's been around 4.5 for the last like 4 or 5 weeks. So I'm not sure if I like that at plus 120. I'm still trying to see. They don't have like Olamide Zaccheaus or the backup tight end, any of their lines yet that I'm seeing, but I would lean maybe the Eagles slot. I think someone that's not a normal guy is going to be a benefit because Goddard's out. I haven't found the line yet, so I'm still looking for it.
Yeah. I'm officially not on any kicker props in this game at all. It is a bit of a weather game, and both these teams are, you know, they don't allow both defenses are very good. I mean, we're just going to call it the way it is. Both offenses are very good as well. I mean, last year this over in the Super Bowl was what, 50.5, if I recall, or 51. We have like a 45 number now. I think both defenses are respected. I kind of lean the under overall in this game, so it makes me kind of weary of any sort of touchdown props or anything like that. But we do have to do our typical first touchdown scorer play of the day, and I think one of us are crushing it today. I think there's a lot of good options and some good odds. So I don't know if any of you guys have looked yet, but Austin, we usually start with you. So whenever you figure out what you like, let us know.
I think I'm going to go with, it's got to be over plus 1,000, yeah?
Yep.
Smitty, I'm going to go plus 1,300 Devontae Smith. It's got to be his day. AJ Brown I like a lot too, but I'm seeing him at plus 950, so can't play it. But I'll go Devontae Smith plus 1,300. I like that.
I'll take the mega juice with Justin Watson. I'm going to say burnt toast stays burnt toast, and James Bradbury finds a way to get burned tonight. I think that him right now at plus 2,800 on DraftKings, it's a free square.
Yeah, free square. Go get it.
That's crazy. Use code Caruso. That's insane.
Yeah. Burnt toast stays burnt toast, bro. That's crazy. But turn the film on, bro. I guarantee we see Bradbury getting cooked at least once or twice, or he'll have a crucial penalty that just kills us. Chucks, to you though. What do we got?
I'm trying to find my. I really think that this is so ugly too. I think Jerick McKinnon is gonna sneak in there with a little dump off in the red zone. I wanted to say Mahomes. I really did. I want to say he runs it in himself, but I think McKinnon's gonna get a little touchdown himself. That's plus 2,500 over there on MGM. So I'm taking those odds myself. This guy said, what would you pair Hurts rush attempts with? I don't know if you guys have something to pair with on the spot, but this guy said Kelsey under yards. I think I may end up playing Kelsey under yards, but I'm going to wait a little bit and see. Maybe I'll get a late, closer to game time bump up and maybe just take that under after. But if there's anything else you want to share, Austin, or are you just souped up, ready to go?
I'm ready to rock. The last thing I guess I have is if Julio Jones has any props that seem to pop up, I would take a look at those. I think we saw him get a few red zone targets. He did catch a touchdown 2 games ago, I believe. And I think Philly's going to try to bring out more 4 wide receiver sets. I think they're going to try to just because they don't really have a great backup tight end. Grant Calcaterra has a concussion. I'm not sure if he's cleared yet. Jack Stoll's not really a receiving threat at tight end. He's more the run package guy. So I think Julio Jones is a red zone threat. I like his plus 2,800 for first touchdown. I'm not saying that's a play, but I think you put a $5 bill on that, has a chance to hit. It's just an interesting spot. And Philly brought him in for those specific reasons, So I think if you could find him at like 1.5 receptions or one of those really low lines, it might be worth a play.
I agree. Alex, are you have anything else or are you ready to rock?
I'm so ready to rock. I'm locked in. There's not a lot of props yet that I'm taking, but that Jalen Hurts over rush attempts feels like free cheddar. Don't bet your bank account, but I think it is a solid play.
Yeah, I agree. Again, don't go too crazy. This game is a Super Bowl rematch, but at the end of the day, it is a regular season Monday night game, and there's some weather. So be cautious. A lot of other sports to bet on too, but that's going to be it for the show today. Alex, as always, appreciate you coming on. Austin, you're always here, but I still love you as well. We got to post the promos out. Stay tuned on all of our Twitter accounts that are linked as well. And that's it for the show today. See you guys on Thursday for the short week. Best of luck in your bets. Peace out.